Here we are in New York City. We're at the Museum of Modern Art right now. We just checked out Starry Night and a bunch of amazing paintings and photography. And visiting my sister this week. She lives in Manhattan on the Upper East Side, but we're heading over to Brooklyn today to check out some record stores. So we're going to be at Captured Tracks and Academy Records and Rough Trade, maybe some more, we'll see. It's just going to be a day filled with digging and tons of fun in the Big Apple, so yeah.
All right, let's go. They also
let's do it.
Are open.
It's so quiet. There's like 6 people in here. This is the perfect day.
Refuel.
Whoa.
Stir it. When you make him carry your purse.
Beauty queen of only 31.
That's my crib.
Oh gosh, where's Melba? Empire State.
Okay, pit stop over. Well done, everyone. That's my pick. Way to go, Edwin.
Why not spell your name at breakfast?
It's not vegan friendly.
Alright, back from New York, and it's a pretty short trip. It was pretty stressful at times, honestly, because my wife and I are buying a house, and we were trying to negotiate and take care of so many logistics while we were there, and that was kind of stressful. So constantly talking to my real estate agent and going to Starbucks to get Wi-Fi. But we were able to go to some art museums and of course record stores as well. So we went to the Greenpoint neighborhood in Brooklyn. I think if you're gonna go record shopping in New York, Brooklyn is where it's at. First up, we went to Rough Trade Records, which is the London label, their New York location. Very classic record store experience. It honestly felt a little bit dead in there. Like there wasn't much energy. It didn't feel like a vibrant community with records that are constantly coming in and out. So a massive space, mostly new records, but I did manage to pick up the Steelism album, 615 to Fame. This is their first album. I did listen to their second album. That's the first one I heard. I haven't heard this one yet, so I'm really stoked. They're an amazing instrumental band from Nashville that mixes surf rock guitars, very desert toned, kind of spaghetti westernish, with the steel guitar. That's kind of the main thing on display, hence the name Steelism. So very psyched about this one. Then we walked north just a couple blocks to a couple record stores. The first one was Academy Records. Huge collection, the store owner, whoever was working there, was really knowledgeable and talking to customers constantly in a friendly way, and a very big store. I kind of get overwhelmed just a little bit when I go into stores like that, because I'm very much a completist when it comes to record stores. I feel like I need to see everything, and when I can't do that, it's kind of frustrating. I also didn't have a lot of time to go in there, so I ended up not getting anything, but that's a fantastic store. I definitely recommend it if you're in the area. I will say that things were a little bit arbitrarily priced. So some of the records, you know, more common records from the 60s or 70s had pretty big, very block number price tags on them, so don't get duped. And then finally we walked just right down the street to Captured Tracks. And this was a basement store below some apartment buildings. Honestly, it felt a little bit dungeon-like white walls. I was not digging kind of the ambiance in there, but they did have a good selection. I ended up getting 3 albums. This one was definitely more manageable, so I could sort of track everything. The first is the Steve Gunn and Trushinsky duo. Steve Gunn is a folk guitarist. This album's called Bayhead. This was kind of my wild card pick. I don't know what to expect. I've never heard this before, so I'm expecting just really relaxed, sort of ambient vibes with this, with the guitar obviously. I also picked up this Klaatu album, which is a Canadian psychedelic pop band from the 70s. Very Beatles-esque, very Kinks-esque. And Notes Reviews, my good friend Notes actually did a video about this album. That's how I first heard of it. Very touching. He gives this like super emotional story about it, personal story, so definitely go check that out. This is my favorite album of theirs. Definitely deeper than the one before this, 347 Eastern, which I also have that one, but classic prog right here. Look at that cover, baby. And we also got Mccoy Tyner, the jazz pianist. This one's from the late 60s, I think, maybe early 70s. Blue Note Records. I haven't heard it yet, but I've heard it's one of his best, and I have another Mccoy Tyner album. He's a jazz pianist. It's one of my favorite jazz albums. This place, Captured Tracks, had this just crazy jazz section. I really loved it. They had a lot of stuff, but again, I just didn't have much time. I was kind of rushing through, so I picked this one up. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be like post-bop, very experimental, just a lot going on, but hopefully as melodious as his other album. But this guy.